Hey everybody, and welcome to Mukilteo, Washington. This is my first live stream using the mobile component now, finally added to my YouTube app on my iPhone. Let's see if anybody jumps on. And maybe what I could do real quick is let's just say hello for those who might jump on real quick. And so we shared this with a tweet in theory. Let's see if anybody finds us. So normally, for those of you who might be watching the replay, just a bit of background, typically I live stream on Periscope. And on Periscope, these days it's usually sunsets and some other nature scenes, but I still do some occasional breaking news. I'm looking up because I'm waiting to see how the light catches these clouds just here at sunset. We're probably for this spot right here, about 20 minutes away from sunset. So let's go ahead and flip it around back towards Whidbey Island. There we go. Well, according to what I'm looking at, we're a minute 21 now into this live stream, and I have 0 viewers. Oh, how many minutes should I let this go on? Well, I think we'll give it a few minutes. Let's give it at least 4 minutes. What do you say? I'm in theory talking to myself because nobody is watching live, but if I decide to leave this up for people to watch it after it's already been recorded, then I guess I'm speaking to you. Thank you if you are watching this. This is very much a test for me right now because I just got this feature on the YouTube app and I've really been looking forward to it. The tide is out right now. Let's go ahead and tilt down. You can see just beyond the railroad tracks is where it drops off down to the beach. And the tide's out a bit. Temperature right now is about 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, a good place to have this today would have been Renton, Washington, or just outside of Renton. There was a bear in a tree that's getting a lot of news coverage. A tree that's not far from an elementary school. And this unfolded during school hours and has continued into the evening. I don't know if it's wrapped up yet. Last I heard, they were tranquilizing that bear, and it was still remaining up in the tree. So I guess, here's what I'm left wondering. Is the 0 viewer count reflective of the people who are watching on a mobile device only? Or is that for all of YouTube, which is entirely possible? So in case you're wondering, I stated a bit earlier, maybe it was just on the Periscope broadcast, a few minutes before this live shot, or this live broadcast, I was mentioning earlier tonight anyhow, that when this live component of the mobile app first came out, I believe it was February of this year, it was only available initially for creators or channels, if you will, who have at least 10,000 subscribers. But it was known that slowly but surely, or maybe slowly is not a fair word, YouTube would phase it into all content producers, all YouTube channels, as long as they're in good standing, I would imagine. And so I've been looking forward to that happening, and lo and behold, here we are. Now what's interesting, I believe I have chat enabled. Show live chat messages, I sure do. But I'm still not seeing any chat because according to the numbers, I have no viewers. Well, it doesn't get much more than transparent than this if you're going on with no viewers and talking about it. But I will be interested once I get back to, well, once I watch the replay, I'll be interested to see what the quality looks like. Is the audio good? I'm using a wireless lav, a wireless microphone. I often use it, and most always use it when I do Periscope broadcasts. I would imagine it's working as well with the YouTube app, so I just want to confirm that. Meantime, there's a bit of color on the sky here. Maybe it's possible that someone is watching on their Apple TV and you're kicked back and you're listening to me and wondering how long I'll rumble and ramble along here with no quote-unquote viewers. Hey, according to the screen here, as I use this feature of the YouTube mobile app for the first time, I now have 1 viewer, and just as quickly as I started the sentence, by the time I reached the period, the end of that sentence, I lost my viewer. Anyway, maybe when somebody's watching on the Apple TV, and I would imagine that doesn't show up as a live view in the numbers count here. There's a bit of red in the sky, but it's very faint. Well, I'll just stand here and take some photos. It would seem a bit funny now to encourage people to subscribe if you like this content with no one watching live. Well, I was watching basketball tonight. I'm an Isaiah Thomas fan, and his Celtics are being destroyed in Game 1 in Boston tonight against LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And my kids really wanted to watch the TV, the main TV, so then I looked at my phone and saw the YouTube had the live feature, and I thought, oh, let's go test it out. Welcome, somebody has just joined. Feel free to chat if you'd like. You just jumped on board. This is Mukilteo, Washington, and this is my first time kind of doing a test. This is my first time using the updated app now on the YouTube mobile app where I can live stream. Initially, this was rolled out for content creators, channels that had 10,000 or more subscribers. And I check every few days to see if my app's been updated with that feature, and lo and behold, this evening, I saw that it's there. So here I am testing it. Just checking the different buttons here. There's even a filter that you can add. And I'm not big on filters, but this is a look at some of them. So I think I'll stick to normal, but this would be documentary. This would be dawn. This would be 8mm, beam, glamour. Boy, there are a whole bunch of them. Silver screen, haunt, sketch. Resembles some of the early type apps you saw on your smartphones, which the bigger companies all swallowed up in terms of the technology, meaning they bottom up. So we're back on normal. Welcome, somebody has joined. Appreciate it. I'm doing a test here using the live stream feature now available on my YouTube mobile app. All right. My name is Mark Horner. If you don't already follow me on Periscope, that's where I've done a lot of live streaming in the past, what has it been, at least a couple of years now. It's been more than 2 years. Because I think it was March of 2015, if I'm not mistaken, when Periscope launched. 2 of you are here now, so I might as well just do a quick camera turn and say hello. Thank you very much for watching. And it looks like Dayron is there. He just shared it or liked it, so thank you, Dayron. So here I am checking it out on YouTube. There is a chat feature there. If you are able to, feel free to to chat with me. I was going to point out a few other things. Hey, Dayron, there you are, saying hi. Well, what do you think, Dayron? You know, in theory, I think the picture is going to be better than on Periscope. Now, I know there's not much going on here right now, but I am out here testing it. I was really excited about this because you're confused. Well, I'm using the YouTube mobile app. And in February, Dayron, here, let's just switch the camera and we'll talk a little bit. So in February, I believe it was, YouTube updated its mobile app for smartphones. And I don't know whether it was iPhone first or Android or vice versa or both together. But YouTube content creators or channels with 10,000 or more subscribers suddenly had a new feature built within the existing app that had just been updated. They can go live, just like we do with the Periscope app. And so they had it first, and YouTube made it known that over time, others would be phased in. So I don't know if it's across the board now, but early this evening, I looked at the app and there it was. I saw the live feature built in. So I thought I'd come out here and test it. And for what it's worth, I have just over 400 subscribers on YouTube. So I would imagine it's quite possible now that everyone has that available to them using the, at least on the iPhone side, using the YouTube mobile app, as long as their account is in good standing, I would think. That's not official, but I would think that might be a prerequisite for that. So I can continue rambling about that, but I thought maybe I'd show you the ferry leaving as we continue to talk. Oh, something large is out there. What just came up? It's probably a California sea lion, unless it's a rock, but I don't think that was the case. Do you see that pool, those rings of water? You're about to retweet your tweets. Let's see what happens. All right, Dayron, let's do it. Bring folks out here. That would be fantastic. And as you do that, let's go ahead. Thank you, Dayron. I see you just retweeted it. Let's go ahead and test the zoom on this app. I saw it, Dayron. Thank you very much. I'm going to guess that might have been a California sea lion. Something big surfaced there while I was looking at my phone. So according to the app, I can see you like the quality. That's awesome. So YouTube, I know when I use OBS, which is some free software, when I use YouTube from home, you know, connected to a PC, it looks very nice. Oh, excellent. The streaming limit is 800 kilobits per second, I think is what it is. Yeah, kilobits per second. And that's a far cry shorter than what I can do on YouTube typically when I'm at home connected to the PC, which is easily 720p. You could even do 1080p, but I find that it's most stable at 720p. So I'm hoping that, I don't know what the streaming bit rate is here, but I suspect it's higher than Periscope's. Of course, the really cool thing is that you've got Google behind you with YouTube, so you should, in theory, should have a bigger reach. And these videos can be monetized if your account. This is way better than Scope. Frame rate is high and smooth. Wow, well, we're losing light, but so we're gonna be restricted to what the iPhone 7 Plus can do here, but let's go ahead. Hey, Mark Beamish, Big Boy Productions, nice to have you here too. Guys, I really appreciate it. So let's just check the zoom. That's all the way zoomed out. That's all the way zoomed in. So what's kind of cool here, you guys, is this can be monetized for replay. So like if you get a lot of breaking news, if you get a great breaking news story, for example, and you're streaming live on YouTube, certainly the replay would be monetized. And I noticed that I did not have the chat feature that allows me to use the super chat feature. So here, I imagine that's because I don't have enough subscribers. So the way it works is people who, I'm going to guess it's 10,000 subscribers, they can enable super chat, and that allows people watching live. The quality is very nice. That's awesome. They can post a comment if they contribute like $1 or $2 or whatever amount they want to right there, and their comment in theory sticks to the top of the comment thread for a period of time that corresponds with the amount of money they donate to the broadcaster at that very moment. And I watched a test done in February, and that was pretty cool. Hey, PS4 Gamer, 24/7. Thanks for checking out the, this is my first live on the YouTube mobile app. So Mariners 3-0, well, sounds like we're a long ways away from the 9th inning, Dayron. That's encouraging. What's kind of cool here, you guys, is that this ferry has gone way to the north as it heads for Whidbey Island, which is off to our left. And that tells me that it's going to be a while before the ferry leaves dock over at Whidbey Island, creating space. Yeah, after last night. Hasn't it been crazy with the Mariners? Oh my gosh, but that poor guy, pitcher, returning, going back to that situation in only a second appearance after recovering from an injury, I tell you what. So let's just go ahead and flip it around. Oh, I was saying earlier, guys, I would never usually use these, but let me just show you some filters. This app has filters. Why would I want bubbles? Okay. It's your gaming account. Oh, so I'm trying to think, who is this? What's your handle on Periscope? This is called Dream. This is called Glamour. Oh, is that Mark Beamish? Did I just not notice the icon earlier? The handle? This is 8mm. This is Dawn. These are all filters. This is Documentary. This is Sepia. Somebody gave me a thumbs up there, thanks. Oh, okay, Big Boy Productions is Mark. Oh, Panther Fan. Okay, now I'm catching up. I knew Big Boy Productions was Mark Beamish. So that's obviously Sepia. Let's look at Silver Screen. And now here's Haunt. It's basically an inverse. Well, thank you, that Panther Fan / Disney World Scopes / PS4 Gamer 24/7. Okay, now here's Sketch. All right, so there's Sketch. But that's all pretty wild. Let's go ahead and look at Normal. There you go. So Panther Fan Forever, PS4 Gamer 24/7. I have to reassociate the names, I know. But you guys, what about this? Imagine this. I mean, if we have a great big breaking news story. Nice to see you, YouTube. Oh yeah, I've been on YouTube. I've had Beyond 90 Seconds on YouTube since I think about 2009. And I have another YouTube channel, which I haven't uploaded to for years, but I think I started that one back, I want to say in 07. I think it might have been the first year. 20 times better than Periscope. Oh, that's fantastic. That is so good to hear. So what I'd like to do, here's what I really would do, and I'm going to be, here, I'll even look you in the eye and tell you this. Okay, this is what I would do, guys. If I could get the ability to use the super chat, you agree with Mark B, way better. Fantastic, Dayron. Well, I appreciate you guys giving the feedback. If I could get a better way to, if I see the pipeline to monetize, just to initially recover gas money, a little bit for time, things like that, I will reinvest myself in doing some breaking news or more interesting scopes beyond the low-hanging fruit that is a Mukilteo sunset, which is nice and relaxing and beautiful, and oftentimes dramatic in the sky when there's great weather and interesting things happening with the weather and things down below. I won't say, that's not good, but there's so much more that I could really deliver. But it would have to be, in order for me to make that kind of investment, I'd have to see a way to make a little money at it, to be honest with you. And I would even invest in even more superior gear to bring you guys the very best possible content that I could. It's only 480p, but so better than Periscope's quality. It's 480p, okay. So I think when viewed live, Periscope is 360p. So that would account for the difference then. The nice thing about Periscope is that I can save it to HD 720p. You can do ads to live content. You can do ads to, yeah, right, if I had a sponsor, or is there a built-in feature in YouTube? I'll tell you what, one person I was watching, Tim Schmoyer, he's a well-known YouTuber, who's always talking about how to monetize and use all the features. Last night, the colors were odd, Mark. I was going to send you a message about it, but everything had red tone to it at sunset. I'll tell you what, there goes a jet towards Boeing, the future home of Alaska Airlines, or another home for it. We got to talk about that, you guys. Dayron, my wife told me, Mark, you got to look out the window, and I did. And the sky looked like a dull plum color. It was very dramatic. And yeah, I could just imagine being here, but the fact of the matter is, I was already kind of winding down, monetize your account and get paid I do that with live gaming. Right on, Panther fan. Well, my account's been monetized for years, and on YouTube so far, I know I got paid $100 once, and I'm close to another $100. But I just do pleasant things that are a way for me to kind of decompress, and sometimes I do some breaking news. 40Ms. A few years ago, I tried an approach where I interviewed a fellow person on Twitter who I thought, it was Bill Gillum when he was still living here before he went off to Tennessee. And I thought, maybe I will do something where I produce stories about who are these people that so many people, I can't say necessarily depend on, but that follow for breaking news. Like a good prospect would be Dayron, Snohomish County Scanner, if Dayron ever wanted to be on camera in that way. Alaska Air coming to Painfield. Yeah, it's a big deal. It is. But you know what? I put a lot of work into that, and showed all his scanners and did a real kind of in-depth interview with Bill, but it didn't catch much traction at all. Thank you very much, Real Estate Nanaimo. You made it here. You watched live on Periscope, and now you've come here to check it out. Well, right on. Thank you very much, Real Estate Nanaimo. Real Estate Nanaimo, I hope that you have checked out Christian Zasa's wonderful, I'm hearing another jet, wonderful Milky Way galaxy photo, or I should say photos. No, it's not a jet. You know what it is? It's an approaching train. So you guys know what it looks like when I show you the train just below the bluff here as I stand on the edge of the cemetery overlooking Puget Sound. We are probably, I'm not sure what the time is. You guys will tell me because my Fitbit it broke. I think it's got to be about 8:20 now. So I think sunset's around 8:43, but it goes down behind the islands sooner. I like the share feature on YouTube. If you have a chance to share, get a bigger audience. Yeah, 8:38, thank you. Hang on, I gotta do this. Now, the reason the horn was honked, no doubt, was because there are people down there. Fortunately, the tide's still out a little bit, so the kids or the young people aren't right up against the tracks. Okay, but you're right, I shared it. So the way the YouTube mobile app works when you go live is you can construct a tweet to go out when you begin your broadcast, which is what I did. And you may have noticed in the tweet, there's a red ball, like a on-air button. That is an emoji, and that was a tip I got from Tim Schmoyer watching his video before I came out here. He said that he had noticed that people were doing that, and then putting the word live. So that's what I did. You have actually had an idea that you want to pitch to you. It has to do with meeting up with all of us, you, Mark, Jack, Stephen, and so on. Well, I'd like to hear that. Definitely would like to hear that. I'm all for looking for ways to remain connected to Snohomish County, Dayron. Follow me? Okay, so here's the ferry out here. So anyway, I know there are these 3 dots down here in the lower right, and I can share again. So let's go ahead and share. And let's share on let's change it to, you guys, I can't see your comments for just a moment. I'm going to keep it at sunset. Well, it's actually twilight now, so let's change it. And let's put in TWILI. So I'm going to share it. I'm changing the name of it now. And I'm going to share on Twitter. Now, I can share this on Facebook too. And the curious thing I'm wondering about is whether it will allow me. And there it is, liked by Dayron, Snohomish County Scanner. Thank you, Dayron. Let's share it on Facebook. I'm gonna see if it gives me the option if I share on Facebook. Thank you for retweeting, Dayron. To choose my specific Facebook page, I have a few pages. So, Mukilteo Live. Let's go Mukilteo. Not able to see your comment for just a moment while I construct it. You know what? I'm writing the word lip. I'm all thumbs when it comes to texting, and our fingers are big as thumbs, so let's try that again. Yeah, there's Mukilteo. It auto-completes for me nicely. The pain of listening to me text or talk about texting. And now let's go Washington, and let's go live. Yeah, I should have put the word live first, but let's just do it this way. Okay, and let's close this. Audience, friends, you know what? It's only going to put it right on my account directly. I'm not going to do that, my personal account. I would rather do it on my page. So I'm going to just cancel that. Okay, here we are. Thanks, guys. I can see your comments again if you choose to comment, and I'll flip it around again, in fact. Just a second. I have to get it home here. Hit the wrong button. Now let's bring it around to me. Ah, there we go. So Dayron, now I'd be very interested in hearing your idea. Feel free to Vox me when I leave here, and we can talk on Voxer. If you're up for it, if you want to talk later, because I know you're probably really into the M's game right now. So it's really interesting, you guys, even though you saw what the sky looked like out there, but really interesting to see just how bright it is on my face, because, you know, these smartphones will be later. Okay, sounds good. These smartphones really do a good job of trying to compensate for low light. So they want to expose this area over here and brighten it up, which is almost like in the shade. It's darker here underneath these really large trees, right? So the phone is exposing for that lower light, and as it does so, it makes what's coming off in this direction, even though it's not very bright at all, it is brighter than this. So it's really blowing out the highlights here, and that's why my bald head is all aglow. Anyway, well, this is interesting. So I can tell you that I've been going live for 26 minutes and 21 seconds. I've had a grand total of 2 thumbs up, and we currently have 6 viewers. So what's also interesting, and I'll be very transparent about this, it seemed the first 7 or 8 minutes nobody was watching. Maybe they were watching on an Apple TV using the YouTube app there. Maybe that wouldn't register as a view. Because I know when I watch Periscope on my Apple TV, I don't think I'm, even though I can tap hearts, it doesn't attribute the hearts to my account, because you don't log in to Periscope on the Apple TV. Oh, you couldn't see me live. So where were you trying to see me live, Real Estate Nanaimo? Because you obviously found me. I'm wondering where you could not see me live. You probably went to my YouTube channel. So you probably went to youtube.com/Mark Horner Media, which is the Beyond 90 Seconds YouTube channel. And you were waiting for it and nothing was happening. That's what I'm guessing happened. So here's something that's helpful if you want to know when I'm live. You can get a notification. You are on my YouTube channel. Yes. Okay. Thank you for that feedback. That's really helpful. So here's a heads up. If you subscribe, you found me by going to my subscriptions and you saw me live. Okay, fantastic. So when you subscribe to me, next to that subscribe button, or maybe now it says subscribed if you've already subscribed to me, there's a little bell just to the right of it, and that's the notification button. So whenever I go live, and quite frankly, whenever I upload a video that's public as opposed to private or unlisted, you'll get a notification stating Mark Horner or Beyond 90 Seconds has just uploaded, or Mark Horner Beyond 90 Seconds is live. And if I'm live, I would think it would give you the link, and you tap it and it would take you right here. Hear about that so much. Is that right there, Rod? Well, I'll tell you what, I've had to really change and evolve in the way I handle notifications over the past 2 years since Periscope and, you know, everything with YouTube, because I wanted to be a nice guy and yeah, sure, notify me when they all go live, but man, your phone just goes crazy between Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, you know, and other things that you might subscribe to, other apps that you use. The darn bell, not me, Mark, from every YouTuber. Ah, gotcha. Wow, you know, I have the camera out here, and I really have only taken 2 or 3 pictures, but are these, okay, now I'm going to butcher it. Is it mammatus clouds? Not matamus, right? I think I butchered that the other day. Let me show you the clouds, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Not those clouds right there, but these clouds right over here. I always think of cotton balls when I see these. Okay, no, they're not. Okay, thank you. Mammatus, there we go. You know, you would think that I would know this, having sat next to TV weather people for many years, for a big portion of my life. Bring it on, come down hard, set me straight. You know, I will say this. Here's what I can show you, perhaps because we have 480p as opposed to periscopes, what I believe to be 360p, is you can really appreciate the polished, smooth look of the water. Mammantus. Okay, I'll work on it, my friend. I should just, if I do nothing else, if I'm not going to learn Spanish to be fluent at it ever, I might as well learn some clouds. Okay, look how calm and smooth the water is tonight. That's a rare calm right there, but we're right in this area tonight, aren't we? Where we're now going to go into this transition with the weather, where we have clearer skies and warmer temps on the way for at least a week, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, my goodness, we're going to be kissing the 70-degree mark. Are you there, Panther fan forever? He's always letting me know how warm it is in Orlando, Florida. Even sending me pictures of the thermometer. Yeah, we might see 70 degrees, and you have to understand how sad it's been this year. We're excited about that. Okay, so here we are in low light on YouTube, and we're looking at the beach. 97 today. Ah, well, there you go. There you go. But all that humidity, I mean, isn't that just miserable? Isn't that miserable? You know, I will say this, I don't think, yeah, I guess maybe the zoom is about the same as what you would get on Periscope, but I'm looking at the picture here, and I don't know how it translates to what you at home or wherever you might be are seeing on your mobile device or your PC or tablet or Apple TV. But I'm hoping that even when I'm zoomed in all the way in relatively low light, you are seeing a better picture than, for those of you who have followed me on Periscope, you're seeing a better quality, even though it's not perhaps great, but better than what you would see on Periscope with this scene and this lighting. It looks great. Okay. Thank you, PS4 Gamer 24/7, Panther fan forever, Disney World Scopes. Let me try this again. Mamantis. 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 Okay, right on. I feel like you're the producer in my ear trying to correct me. You know, and pronunciation's everything. When you're going to be, if you're, you lose all credibility in some people's eyes if you butcher the word, or you don't just nail it perfectly. It is. A friend of mine just retired. I used to work with him in New Mexico as 36 years in television news, last 29 years anchoring in Albuquerque at KOB TV. And well, actually his last day is in June, but he just announced his retirement. And his last name is Joels. He's from Wisconsin. He's a Caucasian gentleman. And he had a viewer who insisted that his real last name was something like Jaramillo or Frijoles or something, and that he had shortened it to Joels because, I don't know, he was trying to, somehow he was going to be given an advantage by coming across as Caucasian or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was crazy. When I worked in Albuquerque, if I said Mesa, I had half of New Mexico calling me up saying it's Mesa. If I said Rio Grande, I had people calling me up saying it's Rio Grande, and vice versa. If I said Jemez Mountains, people called up and said, no, it's Jemez Mountains. And you could not please everyone. It was going to be a divided Latino, Hispanic, Mexican, whatever, New Mexican. There was no agreement by one group entirely. They even fought amongst themselves. So I know about what it means to not satisfy someone by what they believe is incorrectly pronouncing a word, especially if it's regarding a local geological location, feature, or a well-known person or institution. If they think you're mispronouncing it, the phone rings off the hook and they get your ear and they go on and on and on and on. And I've listened to many people in that regard over the years. I would always wanted to get it right. And at one point in the late 90s, I switched from saying Mesa to Mesa. And as soon as I did, because I switched because of the calls, then the other calls came. This is Mr. Gonzalez, Mr. Horner, I must tell you. And then those were the nice guys. Then there were the people who talked to the assignments desk and just ripped into you. And the assignments editor or the assignments desk people would politely interpret and pass along the message. The guy says you got it wrong. Anyway, so at least I can aim to get the clouds correct, right? Well, guys, I don't want to let this go on too long. It's already been 35 minutes. But here we are, just to kind of, let's just give you a quick look around into the cemetery at low light now. Let's bring it over here. It's just been, it's a finely manicured cemetery. I'll tell you what, the lawn's just been mowed here, a lot of attention. I think the city of Mukilteo does the mowing and that general maintenance. You're going back to the M's. Talk to you later. All right, right on. One thing better is there's no lag like Periscope sometimes. Ah, well, what about this, guys? What do you think about this? Do you miss the ability to tap and give hearts? Doesn't bother me at all, to be honest with you. Have any of you tapped the screen thinking you're going to give hearts, but then realized, oh, this isn't Periscope. That's why it's not happening. All right. Okay, guys, thank you for your time tonight and for checking out this first YouTube live stream that I've done using the live feature now available for at least most, if not all of us with accounts in good standing on YouTube. You have a touch screen. Ah, okay. Real estate in Nanaimo, I'm using the iPhone 7 Plus. You're getting one then? Well, you know, I've been really happy with the camera. I love the camera. It's actually two front-facing cameras. And so you can take a photograph in regular mode or portrait mode, meaning if your subject is like a person, is in within 8 feet of you roughly, it'll blur the background. The picture clarity is much better. Oh, good. So when taking a photograph, one of the front-facing cameras locks a focus on your subject, say a human being or a pet, and the other camera identifies the background and digitally creates a blurred background, which is similar to what's often called as a bokeh. Very popular with people who shoot with DSLR lenses, DSLR cameras with specific lenses with a more shallow depth of field. So that's a really cool feature. I've taken a lot of pictures using what's called portrait mode with my iPhone 7 Plus, and it's the two cameras that help digitally recreate that bokeh effect, that blurred background. So the other thing to consider though, real estate in Nanaimo, is you might wait for the iPhone 8, which is going to be coming out later this year, right? And this marks the 10th anniversary of the first iPhone being released. So it's supposed to be a very special phone, so they say, and I think it's going to have a lot of departures, I would think, from the iPhone 7 Plus as they try to significantly move the phone forward. So another thing about it is, read about this because it may be a big issue for you. Wow, okay, how do you keep the camera steady when you are doing a live Periscope? Ah, great question. So what I do is I have the camera on the iPhone on a tripod. At least that's the way I'm working it right now. Let me switch the camera around. So normally real estate in Nanaimo, what I do is, okay, I have a very large steady tripod because what I do is first I will put this on the tripod. I haven't been doing it lately, the last 2 or 3 scopes. But here I am again, once instead of on the tripod, which is usually my modus operandi. And then I have a little deal that goes on this flash mount right here. And I will mount the iPhone in portrait mode right on top of this. So I'll be on a tripod and I'll have this shot and I'll be taking pictures or shooting video, and I'll have the iPhone here and it will be streaming, and I'll be taking pictures and reading your comments going back and forth. So that's why sometimes if you've watched me very long, and I don't think you have, but there'll be moments where I say, I'm sorry for the framing right now, I'm just trying to nail this framing for a few good shots with the DSLR. Just recently though, I've just switched to putting this around my neck and just kind of working on, I've been actually practicing my shooting, because that's a whole different discussion, but I'm doing more with, even more with manual settings and using a back focus button on my DSLR instead of the button up here that's traditionally used. So I've just been trying to practice getting better at shooting and adjusting the manual settings for conditions like lighting primarily as the lighting changes. So more than you probably wanted to know, but that's the answer to the question. Now, if you have Wi-Fi on camera, you can use OnLive. Okay, I'm not sure I follow you there. You highly recommend Archon mounts. They make mounts for mobile streamers. Yeah, big boy, I remember when they landed on Periscope, and I know Babylon Brook and a lot of them have. Oh, it looks like we're starting a new stream. Your Canon got Wi-Fi. Oh, well, I'll tell you what, you guys, did this stream start over? It looks like it started over. I'm sorry, there was a phone call coming through. And it was recommended that I put my phone in airplane mode before doing this, but when I put my phone in airplane mode, I could no longer access my cellular data. So that's why I didn't do it. It froze, yes, okay. Well, it's interesting because my scope time up in the left-hand corner where it shows my run time, it says 37 seconds now. So we were up close to 40 minutes, weren't we? 40 minutes. And now it looks like it started a brand new stream. So that's interesting. That's a good test, a good way to learn about it. Okay, well guys, I tell you what, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. The point about Archon mounts real quick is, just to finish that up, is since I already have all this stuff, I have more camera gear in terms of ways to mount my phone, and I have several tripods. I just didn't want to get into Archon mounts at this time. It just seems like I could put that money into additional gear besides the stuff that can already, because I already have similar stuff that can do what that stuff does. Probably not as light though, so that's a good argument for Archon mounts. They have lighter equipment as a whole compared to what I have, because what I have I primarily use for, you know, basically professional video production. So anyhow, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll close by, you should do a side-by-side scope comparing the two. Oh, Periscope and YouTube, yeah. So here's our look out across Puget Sound. And I just want to say thanks so much for watching, you guys. And yeah, the very first YouTube Live that I've done, or technically now the second due to a phone call. You're welcome. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all your great comments and your wonderful feedback. I appreciate your support, and the feedback is tremendous. It really helps me know how to fine-tune and build further comfort in terms of usability with this app. And so far, I have to say I'm really impressed. Okay, good night everybody, or good day wherever you might be. Until next time, take care.